Okay, let's do a spiritual motivation message. This is meant to be timeless. Whenever you come across this message, it take what resonates and leave the rest. I don't know about y'all, but lately I have been so tired. I don't know if it's this upcoming not new. I think it's a full moon, right? I don't know what sign it is. And if you know, put it in the comments. Ooh, but it's like something's just kicking my hiney. I don't know if it's the cold weather or what, but it's like woo. So, all right, let's get this message and see if it will keep us motivated to get through the rest of the week. But again, this is timeless. Time is fluid. It's not linear. So whenever you come across it, take what resonates and leave the rest. So we're using the Priestess of Light Oracle. All right, so we're going to give it a shuffle. Take a deep breath and see what comes out. All right, let's shuffle. On the deck, I see Sacred Purpose, Eternal Flame, Ancestral Legacy. So some of you, you have a particular purpose, something that you should be doing, something that ties in maybe into like a past life or your previous ancestors were doing that is something that you're going to be very good at if you were to tap into that, right? That's the first message I'm getting. But let's give it a shuffle and see what else we get. Oh, Lord, of course, you got to fly all the way over there. Give me a second, please. Oh, dear. Oh, tenderness. That's interesting. And it came out in the reverse. Just a minute. I'm trying to use my foot to get it. Oh, so some of you are in a situation where tenderness, it may be a little blocked off. Oh, well, this is very motivational, right? You have tenderness, you have tenderless. Maybe that's how some of you are. Tenderness is what I meant to say. And here it is. You have true love and you have compassion. And funny enough, look at my nails, because this is like for Valentine's, right? With little hearts. And this came out in the reverse. So some of you may be going through a situation where you're just not feeling the love. You know what I mean? Or you may even be a little blocked off from giving and receiving love. Or a little resistant. Some of you may have gotten burned. I mean, where's this message going? This is getting like, oh God, this isn't very motivational, Spirit. But stay with me. I think it's going to end up somewhere. So some of you may have been a little blocked off based on experiences, right? So you may have toughened up yourself and, kind of like hardened your heart a bit. And, and may not have a lot of compassion for, people who may have done certain things against you or caused you pain in some way. And so what I'm kind of getting is Spirit is saying, as a motivation message that, sometimes, and not sometimes, it's better for the person who's been hurt to just release it, release any resentment and to forgive, not to say you're going to forget, but, be more understanding and more compassionate of whatever actions were done against you, because sometimes, people are at a certain point in their lives, they don't know better. And not to say you're giving them an excuse or a pass, but they haven't matured or reached a certain level of growth that would have made them behave in a way that, they wouldn't have treated you that way. But let's see where we go with it. So that's what I got. First one was tenderness in the reverse. So let's see what else comes out for our spiritual motivation message. Another card that flew over to the side. And then this one is in the reverse too. And this one is achievement plus intention. Achievement, effort plus intention. And it came out in the reverse. So somebody wasn't putting in effort in a situation is what I'm getting. So I don't know if they want to have a spiritual motivation message or this is Spirit just giving you a message, right? I'm just going to have to read it the way it comes out in the cards. So somebody wasn't putting effort into a situation, right? When it comes to love, when it comes to tenderness, when it comes to compassion, they just weren't making the effort. Let's see where else we go. I get the feeling that this person probably wants to come back around now because they probably want to make the effort. And then here, look, you have angelic assistance. So for some of you, right, look at that. That's a beautiful card. Did I show you this one? Achievement, right? Effort plus intention, which was in the reverse. So some of you, what Spirit wants you to know is they're assisting in a particular situation, right? So if a situation where somebody just didn't treat you well, things didn't go well, you feel like they weren't putting forth the effort, they may have breadcrumbed you. What Spirit wants you to know is there was a lesson in this. So even if it was very painful for you, it's like things had to unfold in a particular way so that this lesson can be learned and so that there could be personal growth, right? Because it says divine guidance, loving support. And for some of you too, if you feel unloved, right, or feel isolated or feel left out in the cold, that's another message that I'm getting. Spirit wants you to know that you're always loved. Love is always around you. And so, if you're not getting love, maybe romantic love or any other type of love, in the way that you would want it, just know that they're always there. You're never alone, right? Look at this. Look how beautiful that angel is. They're always around assisting you. So that's the motivation message. Valentine's is coming up. So maybe some of you are starting to kind of feel that little weird side of energy, right? And so Spirit just wants you to know that, if you're in that situation when this happens, because you may not feel this way now, but I feel like this is the energy that's coming up. Know that you're always loved and that they're always around you. You're always surrounded, and they're always there supporting you. But we'll clarify it and get a little bit more specifics, right? Okay, so let's use just a regular tarot deck to clarify and then see what else we get. But yeah, that's what I'm getting. And for some reason today, I don't want to talk about love. All right. Oops. Okay, this card fell out here. Queen of Swords. See what I mean? But some of you may have hardened yourselves a little bit. So you have this Queen of Swords. So she has her hands up, And then here is the Lover's card. Let me just cover these up because they have some boobies showing, right? But let's shuffle. Spirit, clarify tenderness reverse. Clarifying tenderness reverse. Tell me about tenderness reverse. So you have 8 of Wands. So there's going to be movement in a situation. And maybe there could be a lot of communication, right? Because 8 of Wands is like fast movement. It can be passion. It could be things, if there are any delays, things moving very quickly. There could be a lot of communication, a lot of messages that are coming in. It could also be travel. But what I'm kind of getting is, and look at this Knight of Swords and how quickly this Knight of Swords is moving. It could also be too, because the Wands are very spiritual, right, in tarot, where maybe there's a lot of information or downloads, right, coming in to a particular person, and even to you, to some of you, where you're going to be getting a lot of information, a lot of messages, a lot of spiritual messages, some messages coming in from the ethers, right, from up above, right? That's going to provide you with clarity on a situation that may not have gone the way that you wanted it to go. Okay, tell me more about achievement reverse. So you have the 9 of Cups, and then you have the High Priestess, right? So 9 of Cups is saying wish fulfillment. Remember, it's clarifying achievement, which came out in the reverse. And it said effort plus intention. So somebody who wasn't putting forward effort. And then here you have the High Priestess, right? And then let's clarify angelic assistance, and I'll tell you what I'm getting, because I'm getting another message too. And then you have the 2 of Wands. All right, so here's what I'm getting. So you may not like this, but for some of you, there's somebody who's coming back around, right? And it's somebody who never did put forward effort in a situation. But you know what? Look, this person is kind of regretting this now. They're hiding this. They're not expressing this to you, because here you have the Moon card, but they're watching you, right? Page of Swords. Be careful too, because some of them may be watching and they may be feeling a little bit envious and maybe feeling a little bit jealous, right? Because maybe things are going well for you, but things aren't really moving or going well for them. And so what's happening is, I think as you have grown, and evolved, and you're living in your light, and having happiness, right? 9 of Cups and the High Priestess, because you followed your intuition, right? You listened. This person is now watching that and seeing that, and they are going to come back around because they've realized in this time, right, when there may have been some sort of separation, that you are their happiness, right? The 9 of Cups, you are their wish fulfillment. Their intuition is firing off like crazy, right? They may not be expressing this because we have the High Priestess here, but look, you have the 2 of Wands, and this person has already selected a wand. So this person has made a choice in terms of going in a new direction, right? And again, remember when I said that all of this was being orchestrated by the divine? Because this is something that, as painful as it was, that had to unfold this way, because it's the only way that somebody was going to learn and change, right? Because it's like you don't know what you have until you lose it. So that may have been a situation for some of you, where a relationship was lost, somebody didn't treat you well, and now that you're no longer in their lives, they're realizing, oh my God, this person was such a prize. And Spirit is the one who's assisting, right? Who's bringing about this change. But they're the ones who also orchestrated a particular separation, or maybe even an ending, so that a particular person could learn a lesson, right, and change. So that's what I'm getting. So I don't know how to wrap this up. A spiritual motivation message. What is it? That love is all around. Spirit is assisting. Somebody's going to come back around. They've learned a lesson. And that it's for you to probably have compassion and to listen, right? And not be closed off to hearing what they have to say. So it didn't really go the way I thought it was going to go, but this is the message. Hope it's